unexplainable. Never need a match. It's unexplainable. It's unconditional. It's unforgettable. Unstoppable. Sometimes so intentional. It's so invitable. Indescribable.
Hello, and welcome to his
and her perspective.
And here at His and Her Perspective, we find common ground to harmonize relationships, and we do it like we're going to do today, conversations like we're going to have today. And today we're going to talk about birds of a feather. What my friends do is not my business. Oh my goodness. This is going to be great, brother.
I think so.
How are you?
I'm great. You are looking lovely as usual. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you? You looking all handsome over there in your dapper hat and everything. Go ahead, slick boy. That's what I'm talking about. How was your week?
Good. No complaints. Did a lot of overtime this week, but life is good. Life is good. How's yours?
Mine was good. Very busy, running out. I think I showed 30 houses this week, so that's pretty good. Been out there busy.
Yeah.
So I get it. We getting that bag.
We gotta get it. It got to be got.
It's got to be got. Listen, y'all, how y'all doing out there? If you're looking at us right now, make sure that you, first of all, hit that heart, hit that like button. Tell us that you like us. Also, tell us who you are and where you are checking in from. We'd like to say hello. Your mama always told you when you walk into a room, make sure that you say hello so that people can say hello back. So please say hello to us so that we can say hi back to you. Hey, D Jackson over there. What's up?
It's my man. What's happening, D?
Hey, Sierra, my sister. Good evening to you.
Hey, Sierra. How you doing, sis?
So we got quite a few people on here now, and I only see 4 hearts. Y'all not hitting the hearts. Hit the hearts. Hey,
Where's
Danielle.
Where's the love, homie? Hit that heart button for us. Show us some love.
Hey, Danielle, how you doing? Chantrice, Arkansas in the house. Yes. Hello. Hey, Desi.
My lovely wife.
Yes. So listen, y'all, this is going to be a good conversation. So if you are watching us right now, make sure that you tag some of your friends. We can't do watch parties, but that's okay. Drop the link from the YouTube page. You can do that. And then it can be shared for YouTube or on one of our social media platforms. Make sure that you're following us all. Vaun the Love Alchemist on all social media platforms. Coach Michelamonè on the same, as well as ATR, all things relevant on all social media platforms. Please make sure that you're liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell on our YouTube page. We're trying to get over that hump now. So go ahead and support us in that. We'd love to have you support us in that. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So let's jump on into this conversation. This is going to be good. What's up?
Today's show has been brought to you in part by
Rejection Saved My Life, 15 transformational keys on using rejection as fuel. Fuel stands for faith upgraded to exponential levels. Written by yours truly, Coach Michelamonè Henderson.
Yeah.
And
what's up? And the Heart Workbook, 31 Days to Mastering Your Relationship. Written by yours truly and my lovely wife. Over 30 years of marital jewels and gems and wisdoms written for the couple to power through their relationship, mastering their relationship. Again, written by myself and my wife.
Yes, make sure that you all are getting those books. You can drop the links over coachmichelamonè.com and put yours in there. I'll put mine in there.
Oh, I was about to put both of them in there.
Go ahead. Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
You keep on with the spiel and introduce the show, and I'm gonna go ahead and write what I write.
You see, that's what we do together. Yes. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Mama Cheryl. How you doing over there? Danielle says she bought your copy of the book.
Yeah.
Can't wait to dive in.
Oh, she said she received. Okay, good. Yeah, I want some feedback. Let me know what you think.
Yes, we offer that. Yeah, Danielle reads, honey. That girl reads. So she's going to definitely give you a review. So listen, it's not hard work. It's heart work.
Man,
yes.
Man.
That comes out of the Conditions of Love, Vaun's book. So make sure that y'all get it. I'm telling you some good jewels in that book. You want to make sure of that.
Yeah, Karen. What's happening, Karen? Hey, fam. All
Hey.
people's in the building. Man, it's going to be a good one.
This is going to be good. So listen.
Let's get into it.
If your friend is cheating on their significant other, is it your business? Would you tell? Better yet, would you stay their friend? Would you stay connected to them? Do you think that you're responsible for making sure that they stop cheating? Do you let them in your house with the side piece? Do you let them come to your functions with the side piece? Do you ignore it and act like nothing's happened? Or do you just feel like, hey, it ain't my business. I ain't in it.
My name Bennett, I ain't in it, right?
Yes. So I have some statistics. Y'all know me in the statistics. I love this, right? So they say that we're gonna talk. We talked about cheating before, but this is what this is. You know, you're gonna get in your business. But they said that the percentage of men who admitted to infidelity held constant at 21%, while the percentage of wives having affairs rose almost 40% to 14.7%. Now that ain't right, because I've read, this was from 2015. This some statistics, they don't update them frequently. But I know it's not right because I know that we do it 25% more. We talked about that the last time. So if your friends are a part of this number, would you tell, brother?
What do you mean? Would I tell his wife?
Would you tell if he came over your house to your barbecue and he had the side chick with him and not his wife, what would you do?
He can't stay. You can't stay at my house with the side. Now, I'm not going to tell his wife, and you know, I don't consider myself to be another man's conscience, but my protest of his actions would be that behavior is not welcome here. You can't come in my house with your side piece. I'm not bringing that around my wife. I'm not bringing that around my children. I don't want that in my environment. So yeah, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop even being his friend, but he will know that I don't condone it.
So would you say something? Okay, so would you just say, you know what, now we're not doing that up in here, or would you kind of give him a pep talk?
I'm gonna bring him to look. All my friends know who I am already.
Right.
They already know the love. You see the banner. Everybody know it.
Right.
So if he came in, I would probably put him to the side, be like, hey, let me rap with you real quick. And I just let him know right then, you know, that we can't do that. We can't do that here. So, you know, you can come back by yourself. You can come back with your wife, but you and her together, that dog won't hunt.
Yeah. I'm the same way, because I feel like that, you know, I'm part of that birds of a feather flock together. For one thing, people that say, oh no, birds of a feather don't flock together, it's biblical. Proverb 13:20. It says, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. So whoever we're with, what you always say about the sum of the 5 people that you hang around?
Yeah, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Or as grandma used to say, if you hang with 4 thieves, you're gonna be the 5th one.
Oh my God, this little net, he always waits to get on this show. It's just one. And they attack you in the face. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Dang. Okay, yeah, you're right. You are right. You will be the 5th one. And so this is the thing. I really believe that if you are allowing people like that around you, and we're gonna read some of the comments, then people will assume that you're doing the same thing, and your spouse can also assume that too. You know, would you if Desi brought home, this we just doing because we already know your stance. But if she came in and you see her with a girlfriend who you seen out cheating and she's still kicking it with her, wouldn't that in your mind be like, but baby, what you doing then? It's like that's what we, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Y'all pray for my brother. He over there, he got a little cold. So listen, let's read some of these comments while he's getting it together over there. So let's see. We got, hey, Ayana, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. What's up, Yarly? Thank you so much for joining us. So Danielle says, I am a true friend, so I would tell them how messed up their actions are. Whether they choose to listen is always their choice, but friends don't let friends continue to do jacked up stuff. Absolutely. Because if you do, are you really their friend? Are you really just going to be quiet just because it's not your business? Ayana says, I don't condone cheating. However, it's none of my business. I definitely wouldn't tell the spouse. You cannot be in my presence with your side piece, though. Absolutely. And Karen says, I agree 100%, Coach Vaun. Absolutely. But Jackson John says, my name is Wes, and I'm out of their mess. All right. Yarly says, exactly, Vaughn. Can't come to my house. Pep talk. Hell no.
Yeah,
go ahead.
We're all adults, and if you're my friend, you already know my stance. You already know how I get down. So there's really no need for me to be trying to convince you that you're doing wrong. I mean, hell, you're probably in my age range anyway. Right. So unless you're a youngster, I'm not really trying to guide you and all that stuff. I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'll just let you know that it can't be done here, and you do what you do. But ain't no pep talks, ain't no trying to be your conscience. We ain't doing all that.
Yeah. Totally get it. E. Jackson says, that's not my business. People will get upset at you for telling them. Absolutely. They can't happen in my spot. Absolutely. Hey, Tanil, how you doing? Danielle says, no, I wouldn't tell the other person because I don't think it's my place to tell them, but I would encourage them to tell their partner to feel free their conscience. All right, hold on. I want to pause here because I've been in this situation. What if the cheating partner hit on you? How would you handle that? Would you tell your friend? Would you then give the pep talk? Hey, look, you can't come on to me like that. What would you do with that, brother, if one of Desi's girls came on to you?
Oh, man, she's an enemy.
Yeah.
She's an enemy. And look, I can't in good conscience allow my wife to think that she has a friend in that person. Right? Because if you scandalous enough, to slide at me like that, ain't no telling what ways. I don't know how you might feel about my wife, and my wife is my ace, right? So if I don't trust you, I'm gonna let my wife know that you can't be trusted, for sure.
What if I think I messed it up. What if? How can I put this? I'm trying to get to the part where you have to tell the spouse. What if your friend's woman came on to you? That's what I wanted to say.
That's ugly. Now, that's the kind of thing that ends friendships, and it depends. I mean, if it's a real close friend, like my brother friend, if it was my brother, for instance, I mean, my brother's here in the chat, I would tell him. I would definitely tell him. And so the closer the bond, the more likely I am to tell him.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that thing happen to me, and she didn't believe me.
Yeah.
We ended our friendship because she was like, "You a liar." I was like, "Your dude ain't even that hot for me to lie." So,
some people are too fragile. Some people are too emotionally fragile to handle that kind of information, and so they would rather break things up with you, come at you sideways, rather than to accept the idea that that their relationship ain't all what they thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yarley says birds of a feather do sugar, honey, iced tea together. Very true. I believe that. Ayana says, I definitely would encourage him or her to work things out with the spouse and I will remain their friend. Would you, so you would stop the friendship
Me?
if he didn't continue? Yeah. Would you? Yeah.
Package that question
Yeah.
up neatly for me, because I'm not sure what you mean.
So she says, I will remain their friend. Would you remain his friend if he continued, the friend who brought the side chick to your house?
Yeah, I don't think I would stop being his friend. I mean, that's everybody got their own demons. You know what I mean? Just because his wife can't trust him don't mean he's ever crossed me. But he just got to know what I don't like. Look, I have friends who get high. I don't get high.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't stop being his friend for that necessarily, unless it was starting to spill over and cause a mess into my direction in some kind of way. Then, I would reconsider. But just on the strength of him doing that, probably not.
So is the idiom birds of a feather flock together? Is that true?
I think it has some validity. But now keep in mind, now when I say I'm still his friend, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't hanging out. I'm not going to the club with you because I already know what you want. I don't go to the club anyway. But we're not hanging like that because I know what you want. You trying to be a chick magnet, and I don't want that energy around me like that. But does that mean that, I don't know, that I can't still talk to you from time to time or whatever? No, I'm not. We don't have to cut it off like that. But we can't really kick it. Not when you on that kind of thing. No.
Right. Chantry says, right. And so Danielle says, I don't believe in birds of a feather flock together. I'm my own person and make my own choices. I do believe people can influence others, but again, you can only be influenced when you don't have your own mind. Do you think that? Go ahead. What were you about to say about that?
Look, age-old wisdom is age-old wisdom for a reason. And people have always tried to be the exception to the rule. Right. But the exceptions prove the rule. Right. So does that mean you can have a whole bunch of skanky friends and you can still kick it with them and it's all good? It's possible. But I tell you right now, I don't know anybody who is free of judgment. Yeah. And I tell you right now, people say all the time, I don't judge. I tell you right now, I ain't gonna lie to you, I judge. So if my daughter was to come to my house and she had a whole bunch of hoes with her, and I'm looking at my daughter like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right. You better have 6 with you, girl.
I'm just saying, and again, she could be the exception to the rule.
Right.
My daughter in this instance or whatever. But I'm looking at you sideways. Like, you should be able to keep better company than that. Because otherwise, what you got in common?
Right. Okay, so how about this then? I'm coming with, what about being the higher power, for lack of better terms, in the group where you're trying to influence them? Some people think that they can be that higher power of the group and start to influence the other people. What are your thoughts on that?
Again, I think it's far be it from me to rule out things from the realm of possibility.
Right.
But that would be an exception.
Yeah, that would be.
Right. Because if it's 4 of them and you that lone voice, they looking at you like, is you coming or is you ain't? Right.
Because eventually this is a thing. The power of the numbers are going out. They're going to beat you. So you eventually are going to go to the dark side because you're trying to fight them and they not listening. So what's the whole point?
Yeah.
So let's see. Kimberly Snotty says if they do that, they are disrespectful to the friendship. Now, come on now, because here we go. This is some of the things I was gonna bring up when asked, would you stay close with a friend who cheated on their partner? Some other people are saying this. One of the things they said that's disrespectful to me if you're coming in like this, you're disrespecting me and what I got going on. What are your thoughts?
What are you saying? If somebody came to my house with a side piece, are they being disrespectful?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, I think that's disrespectful.
Absolutely.
First of all, especially you already know who I am. You already know how I get down. Now, if it's vague, everybody's different. So some people might not know, may not be as intimately familiar with your ideology. So it's case by case, right? But everybody who know me, they seen the banner.
Right.
So
they do.
And my relationship with my wife. So they already know better than to come here with that.
Right. Yeah, I totally think it's disrespectful because I think that what it's doing is it's saying to you, oh, so you think I'm okay with that? You think that I'm gonna you think I'm dumb enough to let you ride with this, especially on my premises in front of my wife? You're disrespecting me and my partner. You know what I'm saying? For the guys. So
now here's the other side to that. I tell people all the time, take nothing personal, make no assumptions.
Yeah.
So if one of my friends did show up here, I'm not taking that personal, like he's taking a stab at me, a jab at me, or defying what it is that I think I stand for. I'm not taking it personal, and I'm not going to assume I know what he's thinking when he does it, other than the idea that he thinks that it's acceptable.
Right. So then that's still disrespectful.
Well, again, to me, I think that a lot of times disrespect lies in the intent. Right. So if you're at Walmart and you got your shopping cart and you in line, and then somebody runs into your buggy, right? And you in line and they run into your buggy because they're trying to get in front of you. That's easy to say, man, I know this fool see me. How you just gonna act like I'm not right here? But then what if that person is blind in that right eye and they just didn't see you? Right? It's easy to make assumptions, but you don't know what the other person is thinking. You don't know. Sometimes there's too many unknowns. So rather than for me to assume that they meant to be disrespectful, that they meant to cause any kind of injury, the only thing I'm going to conclude is that he thought it was okay to bring that scenario to my home. And then it's my job to correct them and say, hey.
So do you always, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you always think that the intent is the only reason why they're being disrespectful?
I think typically that's the way I see it. Okay. That don't make me right, but I'm saying that's what brings my mind peace. I like, because I don't know your intention always. I can see your actions. Now, if you slap me in my face, that's something different, right? Some things are more blatant than others.
Yeah.
But sometimes you might be trying to judge somebody's intention when you don't know the whole story. So rather than for me to assume that I know what they're thinking, all I do is judge the action, and then I respond accordingly. Like, based on your action, this is how I'm going to respond. You can't bring that here. And if you say, "Oh man, you know how it is," well, then we can take the conversation further once we begin the dialogue. If he has some kind of pushback,
right?
But initially, my response is, "Hey man, we can't do that here."
Gotcha. Because I think that I kind of think the other way. I kind of think that you can be unknowingly disrespectful.
Okay, give me an example.
It doesn't have anything to do with this, but I'll give you a perfect example. It happened to me yesterday. So I'm showing a house, and I'm standing outside with my client, walking up to the client to the door. My time is at 7 p.m. It's 7:05. That's fine. You're running late. Clients run late all the time. We get this. We get that all the time. The realtor and her clients walk to the door, step out, see me, and walk back in, close the door. Disrespectful. And so I stood there for 5 minutes thinking, you just being real disrespectful. You know my time is 7 to 7:15. Get up out that house. So when I rang the bell and I said, you guys ready? Are you done? My client's waiting to come on in. And she was like, oh, disrespectful. Now, her intent could have been, oh, we want to see something different. But as professional, you should say, we're going to have to come back, or we can wait till they finish. Let's come back out, wait the 15 minutes, and then come back in. So their intent, I didn't need to know what their intent was. You should respect other people's time. So that's what
I think that was intentional. Because the rules are set.
Yeah.
Right. The criteria is clear. They know that at 7 o'clock they're supposed to be done. they know that you got next. They
Right.
walk out, see you standing there, and then proceed anyway. That's not unintentional in my
Not
mind.
at all. But I don't know. I could say, well, maybe they just forgot something. Maybe they dropped something. Maybe I don't know.
Okay, well then, if you forgot something, maybe you dropped something. You're on the clock.
You on the
You
clock.
got
Get
30
out.
seconds, maybe 60 seconds to continue. Not 5-10 minutes. Nah, come on, man.
Yeah,
You know
that
what
was
it is.
just terrible. So yeah, I think that the intent, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be known. You don't have to know that somebody's intent is to be disrespectful. So let's see. We got a lot of comments here. Chantry says, I wouldn't tell the other person, take your side piece to McDonald's, not here. She says, I would definitely tell my friend if their mate hit on me. I told, and I got cussed out.
Yeah.
Danielle says, oh Lord, I would tell that person we can no longer associate, and I'll tell whatever partner my reasoning. I'm done at that point. Yeah. Gotcha.
See, that's an interesting point too, because I think you almost have to be willing to lose your friendship because it's at risk.
Yeah.
When you go and tell them that their significant other is cheating, your relationship, your friendship with that person is at risk.
It is.
And it hinges solely on their emotional stability, their willingness to process the information for what it is, rather than to turn it on you and assume that you have ulterior motives.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, your relationship with that person is at risk.
Yeah.
So this is why I say the closer I am to somebody,
Yeah.
the more likely I am to tell them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let's take this a little bit away. Well, we got some more comments, but let's read the comments, then we'll take it away from the cheating, because there's more things that we can mind our own business in. James Bush says, you better tell your spouse, see Joseph in the book of Genesis. Yarley says, pronounce that word.
Hypergamy would come into play.
Yes.
A woman that does that could and would not be trusted. Yeah. So
I'm gonna have to look up that word, Yarley.
So in short, hypergamy is just women. There's this idea that women naturally want to level up or go for a guy who makes more money or is in a better financial standing. That people think that there's a segment of people who think that women naturally gravitate toward a man that's doing better financially.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Which women are these? Because I don't.
Well,
I've never. Maybe I do think I'm kind of a unicorn because I never cared. Like, I've dated men with a lot of money before. I didn't care. It wasn't a turn on to me. Your money is your money. And unless we got married, it won't be my money.
Yeah,
Women, y'all ladies tell me, because help me, because I'm a unicorn. That may be a show, because I don't care. Your money is not my money. Because again, unless we were married, I don't want you thinking that my money is your money.
Yeah, well, James Bush said, listen to the lyrics.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Where is that? Could you?
All right.
Go ahead.
Listen to the lyrics in the song Booed Up. Hey, do me a favor, James, and summarize that for me. Let me know what I should be looking for so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that it's a natural thing. And that might be a show in and of itself, like I said, but I don't think that hypergamy is natural. I think that hypergamy is a response to the environment that we're in.
Yeah.
Because in a more holistic scenario, there is the equation isn't so lopsided that women have to pursue these types of advantages, at the expense of their own well-being, because that's oftentimes what it is. Women are in these scenarios, hypergamous women are often looking to quote unquote level up with a guy who makes a lot of money, but even at the expense of her own well-being. Sometimes these guys are not, I'll just summarize by saying sometimes they're not the healthiest, healthiest minded.
Right. Right. That's true. Because I'm telling you, it's like, yeah, I've been on dates where dudes have brought out a wad of money, and I'm thinking that was the most disrespectful thing.
It's corny.
It was real corny. It's like, dude, I don't care that you got a stack of hundreds. So what?
Yeah, it's corny.
Because what in my mind, the first thing I thought was, you think you about to pay for it? You ain't got enough money.
Pay for what? What you talking about, the dinner?
Whatever he thought. Because you ain't got enough money. You can't count that high.
Well,
so whatever.
Let the church say.
That's a whole nother show. Ayana says, I haven't had any of my friends' husbands come on to me, but I've been in a situation where my boyfriend's friend came on to me and I ripped them a new one for the disrespect. However, I didn't tell my boyfriend at the time because I didn't want it to become a situation. Do you think that he was, do guys test women like this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, people test.
To
women
see?
test, men test. I mean, we all do. You know what I mean? And it could even be I had a friend. This guy wanted me to try to talk to, he thought his friend's wife. Now, I wasn't friends with the guy. I knew the other guy. So my friend was the middle guy. And I didn't know his friend's wife. I had met the friend.
Okay.
But I didn't know his wife.
Okay.
My buddy wanted me to try to talk to his friend's wife because he thought that she would cheat.
Okay.
He wanted me to text the guy's wife, see if I could get her phone number.
Wow.
Because
so you were the one that nobody knew.
I was the one.
You would have been the person that she would have fell for.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I was like, man, that's wild, man. I said, so what if she goes? What if she goes for it? Right. Then what? You gonna tell him or what? He was like, nah, man, go ahead and hit that. I'm like,
wow. That's like mind-blowing.
Like, this your boy? And you telling me. And so now I'm looking at you sideways for, because me and you supposed to be cool, but how you look at my lady? Like, you telling me to smash your partners, I'm cool.
Yeah, y'all take that swing and stuff up out of here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We got a lot of comments. Let's see. Danielle says, I don't know if you want to start reading because I didn't want you to be coughing. Okay. I will continue to be their friend because you may be that friend that they really need until one crosses me. They're good with me. Yarly says, maybe she thought you were not as pretty as her and he would not try to slide up to you. She has no understanding of men and her value to them. You handled it right, Coach M. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Yarly, for your vote of confidence. Michelle, that's basically what I mean because I'm not who I always was. It took someone to take me under their wing and show me better, but ultimately it was my choice to become better because I wanted better. As a married woman, I won't do some things my friends may do, but that's because I'm in a different position. Absolutely, Danielle. That's my favorite client. I love her. Yarly says, Danielle, the premise that you would have your own mind is predicated on the fact that no one is telling you what to do or have to do it directly. However, the fact that you are following a certain way of behaving shows that chirp, we all are birds of a feather. You can fly with eagles or cluck with chickens is the only self-determination you can have control over. And so y'all know where this comes from, the birds of a feather. You don't typically see a chicken with a dove. You're just not going to have them. They're not going to hang together. And that's kind of the same thing with most animals in the animal kingdom, as our brother could definitely tell you about, because we hang with our own.
Yeah.
Humans are the only ones that act crazy.
So look, this whole "am I brother's keeper," y'all know where that came from. I know you're a minister, but Cain killed Abel.
Yeah.
And then God said, where's your brother? And Cain was like, yo, am I my brother's keeper? In other words, I don't know where he at. How am I supposed to know? Right. But I think it has other implications too, because if you I don't know, just do you have your brother's back?
Yeah.
That's one way of looking at it. Like, do you look out for your brother? If he falls short, are you there to help him?
Yeah.
You know, and so to that extent, I am my brother's keeper, but only to the degree that he's willing to be kept.
Right.
So if I offer my brother some correction, you know, on an issue, whatever that issue might be, and he say, hey man, mind your own business. Well, I can't keep him in that instance, right? But here's the other part that I think a lot of people overlook. Part of being your brother's keeper or your sister's keeper is to also not present them with stumbling blocks, right? Cause not thy brother or thy sister to stumble, right? So if I know my brother's an alcoholic, I don't offer him a drink. Oh man, my fault. I forgot you don't drink. No, man. You got to be cognizant of if he's really your brother, really your sister, you know, and you probably are already familiar with what their challenges are, what their trials are. And so part of your job of keeping them is to not only minimize the stumbling blocks that you create, but if you can, to the best of your ability, move those stumbling blocks out of their way.
Yeah.
They might not even know, you know, what's going on at a particular party. Maybe they got a drug habit, right? And we all got invited to this party, and maybe you know that it's going to be some drugs going down. Maybe people are going to be smoking and tooting or whatever. You know that that's going on. Maybe you provide the diversion and say, hey man, maybe we shouldn't go there. Let's go do something else. He might not even have to know necessarily what was going on, but you just provide a healthy distraction. You, your brother.
Yeah. That's true. And a lot of times we want to say it's not my business, but we have to understand in order for us to, we always hear people talk about it takes a village. It doesn't just take a village to raise a child. It takes a village to be a village. So you can't just turn your back on the whole situation of your brother and your brother's keeper. But as you stated, a lot of people, Abel was probably trying to be his brother's keeper and got killed.
Abel didn't mind his own business.
He should have minded his own business. He'd still be around. Well, not still, but you know, he'd lived a little bit longer. So Danielle says, as a woman at this point in my life, I won't do anything to disrespect myself. In doing that, I won't put myself in a position to disrespect my partner, my spouse, because otherwise, what is my purpose for being with this person? Absolutely. What's the purpose? What are you doing? Unknowingly disrespectful. Interesting topic. Very much so. We got
unknowingly disrespectful, man. That's
can you? I think that you can. I think that you can. You just gotta, because, and this is the reason why I believe that, because everybody's standards are not yours. So whatever your standards are, you're expecting people to uphold your standards. But if they don't know what your standards are, they can easily disrespect those standards.
Okay, so here's a perfect example. I was in St. Thomas in the Bahamas.
Okay.
My ship had pulled into this port when I was in the Navy. And I always thought that when you come into a place that you offer a greeting, you speak. They were already there. You came into the place. You're the new addition. You greet everybody. Hey, everybody. Right? Over there, though, it's the opposite.
Really?
In their mind, when you come in, you offer a greeting. So I come in. So you know how when you come here, welcome to Walmart.
Right.
I go over there, and it was the opposite. They were looking at me like, man, he's rude. He come in, he don't speak. I'm looking at them like, y'all rude. Y'all don't speak. You know what I mean? You don't even.
But that's how I think. When you come into a room, you speak. So that's what they're thinking, right?
Well, when you come in, but again, it's the store. It's a store.
Oh, okay. So like, welcome to Walmart. Instead, the customer should be speaking.
Right. Yeah. And it was. Let me offer this amendment. It was like a boutique.
Gotcha.
Right. So small mom and pop type operation. And when you come in there, the people that come in offer the greeting. Kind of like the way we do over here when you come into somebody's home.
Right.
But in the business setting over here, we think they should offer you welcome to my store. Right.
Okay, gotcha.
But it wasn't that way over there. And I was just thinking like, man, they don't even
greet you.
But again, so were they being disrespectful? No, just a difference in ideology, difference in culture.
I like that. I can smoke a bag of that if I smoked.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ayana says, I believe birds of a feather flock together to an extent. I've been a part of a group of women that was viewed a certain way. And yes, I was a casualty of others' perception and realized I had to distance myself because of that. Point being, I didn't indulge in the same activities. Absolutely. I don't know what Yarly talks about when he says she wanted to be a Karen. Did we talk about something? What does that mean? Her intent? She wanted to be a Karen.
I don't remember.
I just found out what they mean by that.
What, Karen?
Karen. She Karen. What we doing right now? She caring about everybody else's business. Caring.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
But it's particularly aimed at white women.
White women, right? I get that, but I didn't know how it came about. I'm like, why you didn't choose Susan? Why you didn't choose?
Look, you can't.
Karen.
The only way you can dictate the slang of the time is to create it yourself.
I guess, man.
Yeah.
So Danielle says, how much money one has absolutely means nothing to me. It's true. Robert says there are women that go for money, not the man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what kind of woman is that though? Because, no woman, I bet you, this is a thing.
And
those same, huh?
And
What'd you say?
Ambitious.
Yeah.
You said, what kind of woman is that? I said ambitious.
If you took that same woman, and I know we sidetracking, if you took that same woman and that dude walked over, took that money, put it on her nightstand and said, let's do it, I wonder if she would think the same way. Because that's exactly what you're doing. You just doing it in a different way. You might be in the kitchen, baby, I need this. If it's all about the money, you might as well walk, hey, where your room?
Well, I mean, look,
where your nightstand? Put the money on the nightstand and let's do this.
We have a world filled with people that look for advantages, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I remember back when I was in high school, I didn't dress the flyest, you know what I mean? I was just, an average guy for the most part, but I had a job. And there were girls who wasn't really digging me because I didn't have back then it was the Cavaricci pants and the polo shirts. I didn't dress fly like that. My mama was a school teacher. She might've made, 30 grand, and raising two boys, she didn't have bread like that. So we was wearing Pro Wings until I was able to buy my own Jordans. I was wearing Pro Wings. So there were girls who would not touch you, would not talk to me in that scenario. My wife didn't care.
Right.
My wife was like, man, I like you, you like me. Let's see what we can do.
Right. All right. Come on.
So,
thank you so much, Kimberly. I'm trying to go through. We have so many comments. We're not going to be able to read them all. So I'm trying to go through some so we can catch up to our next part of this. We all should be the keepers of our brothers. Gabe says we should all be the keepers of our brothers and sisters that promote positive behavior and actions. Thank you so much.
I agree.
So listen, we talked about the whole cheating thing. Do you think that we need to mind our business when it comes to rearing children?
Ooh, now see, this is a different one now because look, in our indigenous tradition, or if you want to say African tradition, like Gabe Briscoe just said, it takes a village to raise a child, right? Yeah. What we've devolved to, and I use that word purposely, devolved to, is this integrated idea that, that mind your own business. This is my child, right? So now we have, back then, man, my next door neighbor was my best friend, and his mother could spank my butt if she wanted to.
Right.
right? I mean, she could chastise me. I had neighbors who were several doors down that, man, I was glad that I would rather they chastise me rather than to tell my mama what happened. Because, man, if you tell mama, I already know what time it is.
Yeah.
So thank you. I appreciate it. And look, back then we wasn't cussing in front of our elders. Man, these kids now, you know,
they'll cuss you out.
They'll cuss you out.
Yeah.
So try to correct somebody else's child. So it's been a completely different shift. But to bring it back to the question, I think I like the old way because we all took part in the healthy rearing of children. But now we don't know who our neighbors are anymore. We change neighborhoods so often, and so you could be living next door to a serial killer.
Yeah.
You know, or who knows what mindset it is. So you don't necessarily even want to welcome the idea of the next door neighbor, you know, overreaching in his or her correction of your child. What do you think?
I think the same thing because you cannot trust. And I think that goes into back in the day, we had, you know, the uncle could come and chastise you, the auntie, the neighbor down the street. And where I grew up, you got a whooping by the person down the street. When your mama came home, my mama came home, I got a whooping again. So I didn't just get the one, I got that one plus the other one because now you done messed up, okay? But now because of what has happened in families, molestations and rapes and things of that sort, people don't trust because they've grown up with those what goes on in my house stays in my house kind of thing. When these people that you were allowing them to stay with and chastise, they were abusing them, you know? And so even that's how I feel with my kids. There's certain people I let chastise them. I didn't have the whole village thing because I was in that situation as an 8-year-old where I got a whooping for attempting to tell that my friend who I spent the night with was being molested by her mama's boyfriend. Right. So he overheard me trying to tell, we gotta tell. And she's like, I can't tell. I'm like, we gotta tell. So instead, and my dad didn't know no better. But he got to my dad and told my dad we snuck out of the house. So my dad came straight in the door, whooping me. So I had no chance to even tell that this girl is being, like full out having sex with her at 8 years old. And so those things in my mind are, no, my son and my daughter cannot stay no night, nowhere. And no, you cannot chastise my kid, period. So those types of things kept us from taking that village, you know what I'm saying, that village mindset because of the abuse that was happening. That's
a whole show too, you know, how quiet we've been and protective people have been of the molester.
Yeah.
Like we got whole families where we say, hey, keep them kids away from Uncle so-and-so or Auntie so-and-so. Rather than kicking Uncle so-and-so's ass, kicking him out of the family, making it so that he's not welcome here or she's not welcome here, keep them kids away from them. Didn't I tell you keep them kids away from Uncle Roger? No, man, they shouldn't even be here.
Exactly. Make the space safe.
Make the space safe for the children. That might be I don't know. That show might be a bit touchy because it's real sensitive.
It's real, but I'm gonna write it down.
It is real.
So, I think that it's very challenging in that with people trying to raise their kids and getting advice. Yeah. So, do we have any comments about that? Anybody say? James says we have parents fighting each other over child rearing. We do. Yeah. You better not say nothing to my kids. Who you talk? Kids? Oh, honey, that woman will go to the school. We got parents going to schools wanting to fight people. What she say? Who did it? You know, different TikToks. You know, with the parents changing. What I'm 12 today. You know, different stuff like that. So.
Yep.
Stephanie Renee says, honestly, not everyone deserves to have input regarding raising someone else's children. Anyone who has input on raising another person's child needs to be vetted. Just because a person has been in our lives for many years doesn't mean they are appropriate to help raise another person's child. You are absolutely right.
Look, I'm telling you, the more and more fragmented our cultural values become,
yeah,
right, the more disintegrated and I use that word on purpose because we integrated it. Once we integrated, our cultural values began to disintegrate.
Yep.
Right. And so the more disintegrated our values have become, the less and less we become like our grandparents were. Everybody want to know, why can't relationships last like grandma and granddaddies did?
Yeah.
It's because we don't hold the same value system that grandmama and granddaddy had. That's part of it. There's other reasons too, but that's a major part of it.
Yeah.
You know, so I agree. You can't let everybody chastise your child. I think one of the best things you can do these days, if you have a problem great enough. I mean, of course, if it's life-threatening, then you do want to correct the child. If they're in danger, if they're in imminent danger. Other than that, I think I would probably just go to the parent and be like, hey, I just wanted you to know your child was ... You know,
okay. Gotcha. So we don't have any more comments about that. So let's step into the third part of what I wanted to say, mind your business.
All right.
You out here, you see somebody putting their hands, because men get abused nowadays. You see your girl hitting her guy, or talking to her guy some type of way, or abusing him, or you see your friend abusing his woman or saying certain things to his woman in front of you. What do? Do you mind your own business?
Look, if you my boy, if you my partner, you can't beat your woman in front of me. I'm gonna try my best to, mediate. Like, hey man, come on, man. Let's do, what I mean? I don't know exactly how I would do it, but you can't just beat the hell out of your woman in front of me. Especially if I know you.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you, if you saw something that happening on the streets, would you do that? Would you say something?
I'd probably call 911 for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because these days, police officers say that some of the most dangerous calls to go on are domestic violence calls, because they'll go, and once they begin arresting the abusive one, oftentimes the one who was abused will turn and jump on them.
Yep.
So you out here as Superman in the streets trying to stop some random guy that you don't even know from, beating on some random woman that you don't even know. And next thing you know, they both jumping on you.
Yeah.
So, and it sucks that it's that way, that people are that their minds are so unhealthy these days that you can't do things like that safely anymore. But I think probably the best thing to do would be to call 911.
Yeah, I agree, because you cannot get in there. Like Yarley says, nope, avoid at all costs. You can get killed.
Yeah,
you can be in the crossfire.
But if there's somebody that's close to me, if you my brother, one of my partners, I feel comfortable enough in that scenario to say, hey, come on, man. And I think that I would be successful in breaking something like that up because we are so close.
Yeah.
But if I don't know you, man, I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
That when I was married to my third husband, we were in a video store. It's back when the video stores was out, right? In the video store, we're in the line, we're laughing and giggling, acting silly. And this guy comes in, Caucasian guy comes in. He's calling these girls that's in front of us bees and hoes. He going in, y'all need to, and he's drunk. So at the time, my ex-husband, he was like, he hated that. He hated the men talk to women like that. So he was like, man, cool out. He was like, oh, so you a part of this? They was cussing back and forth, and I can't say what they were saying. Cussing back and forth with each other. So finally I step in between, because I'm like, oh, we don't want him to get upset, because my ex was, if his temper went up, he saw red, you ain't see nothing else, right? So I stepped in between them like, no, let's just, come on, baby, let's just go. He was like, oh, so you, it was funny. He was like, so you gonna let your girl get in front of you? You gonna let your girl protect you? He literally picked me up and moved me to the side and revved back, knocked him down. He fell out. I was like, let's go. And it was all in protecting the girls. So it was like it didn't, but he stepped in.
I would do that.
Yeah.
I would do that. If a random stranger came in and he's assaulting some random girls, especially if it's black girls,
Right.
I can't go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
But just some one-on-one that looked like domestic violence going on or a lover's quarrel or whatever, I'm doing my best to stay out of that.
Yeah. Danielle says, no, I'm not minding my business when it comes to domestic violence. We may get our butt kicked together, but this can be a matter of life and death. Call for help. Whatever you do, just do something. Get everyone to safety. Yeah. I was with a friend. Stephanie says, I was with a friend of mine. Her boyfriend started choking her. I jumped on his back, wrapped my arm around his neck, and military choked him. He didn't touch her again because we got the F up out of there. Okay, I bet you I bet you he wouldn't do that no more, especially around you, Stephanie. You done got him right together. Danielle says, I'm a person who went through domestic violence and thank God for someone not minding their business because it was just a matter of time before he seriously hurt me. Absolutely. You're right. And, and back in the day, it was like, no, you mind your own business. If he whooping on her, people would be sitting in the same room with people getting whooped and they would not say nothing. I've seen it happen. And it's like, how do you sit there and watch that happen? So yeah, totally. No, we gonna be fighting. If it's a close and personal situation, we all gonna be fighting. You're not gonna do that to my friend, my family member. We're not doing it. I will walk to you. Yarly says that's why you, as a woman, never get between belligerent males. Oh yeah, if two men are fighting, I'm not stepping in the middle of that. That's not domestic violence. That's a fight.
Yeah. Man, these days, women to pull out a blade so quick. Or a gun or whatever, man. It's the wild, wild west right now.
It is. Kimberly Snotty says, like Tina Turner getting her butt kicked by Ike, allegedly. Yeah, people are sitting there watching, and that happened a lot back in that time. So I believe Tina Turner was getting her butt kicked while everybody was sitting there.
I was listening to Judge Joe Brown. He claimed that he knew them.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I heard him telling that story, and he talked about how Tina was as abusive or more toward Ike. And he told the story once because I guess he's a little younger than they were.
Okay.
And he told this story about how Tina was telling Ike was supposed to be doing something, and but he didn't do it fast enough or whatever. And Tina came across his back with a rake or something like that. And man, yeah, it really let him have it. So from what I understand, that relationship might have been, at the very least, mutually abusive.
Yeah, it's kind of like. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, there's no comparison with, as far as strength goes. If a man wants to be abusive, then, a woman really, generally, she can't match that. But the way Judge Joe Brown was saying it is that, the story got flipped, and Tina was the one who was really the more abusive. I don't know how true it is, but hey.
You never know. I mean, she got it in the end, so.
Yeah, and you know how Hollywood is. I mean, Hollywood always wants to, at every chance they get, they look to demonize us anyway, black men. And so it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if Judge Joe Brown's account was more accurate than the movie.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm trying to think. It was a situation. Yeah, I told him. Yeah, it's crazy. So James says, I stopped hanging with someone because he was beating his girl. They stayed together years after that.
Yeah. And see,
that's true.
I would do that. You can't. We ain't friends. If you beating on your woman, we ain't friends. I can't do that.
Yeah, because I mean, if you condone that, then you probably doing the same thing. Stephanie Reese says, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Stephanie Reese says, regarding domestic violence, this is one of the reasons why grandma and grandpa stayed together, because many times grandma took whippings on the regular and would never leave. Yeah, my grandmama, honey, she carried. My grandmama was carrying before you knew that you could carry. And she didn't play that. I didn't see that part. Now, I did see my mother before she died getting whooped. I saw my mother hanging from a third-story balcony in a courtway building, and by this guy she was dating. And I came upon this big crowd because I had snuck out because my mama had left us in the house for days by herself. And I snuck out to go steal some food for me and my sisters. I came upon this really big crowd, and I'm like, "Well, what they doing?" I'm being a kid, going through the crowd, trying to sneak and see what's happening. I get there. This man has got her by her feet.
Your mama.
My mama.
Wow.
Hanging over the balcony. And everybody, some people are saying, drop her. Some people say, you better not drop her. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God. My mind at 8 years old wasn't, oh my God, my mama's about to be, somebody's hurting her. My mind went to, oh my God, I'm going to get a whooping. I need to go back home. Because I didn't know what was happening. That was the first instance of me seeing that. So I was like, oh my God, what is happening? And I ran home, but I got a whooping because I was supposed to help.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was wild. So, I mean, those types of things. But that village is half the village saying, drop her, half the village saying, you better not drop her. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Who does that? Let's see. There are a lot of dead Captain Save garden tools. Yearly comes up with these for white knighting women. White knighting. Danielle says, most people think it's just the man who's the abuser, but women are abusive as well. If a person makes you that angry to where you need to put hands on them, just leave them alone. Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. Gladys, was it Gladys Knight? Yeah, Gladys Knight and her husband used to fight, but she used to whoop him too.
Yeah.
With her little self. Well, based off of the movies that they have on her. It's
a lot of women out here that don't play. You know what I mean? Like my wife was just saying, not my grandma, not my great grandma, or my great great grandma. She was telling me this story how I think it was her great great grandmother that had a rifle, and he had to come. Her husband had to come with the cops just to get his stuff because she wouldn't let him. She threatened that if he came on the property, she was gonna shoot him.
Yeah.
You know, it's so some women about that life, man.
Yeah.
You ain't just whooping on every woman that's out here. You know, so physically stronger, but there are some equalizers.
Yeah, because that's how my grandmother was. That's why, I don't know what happened with my mom, but my grandmother was like, she ain't doing that. We're not doing that up in here.
Yeah.
She'll stand there with her gun. She had machetes. She had stuff. She wasn't playing with her little self.
Yeah.
Where we at? A peacemaker, no doubt, Coach M. Yeah, I am a peacemaker. I always have been. Let's see. Yeah, so this man. So here goes some of the things that people are saying what they wouldn't do when it comes to minding people's business. They say that they wouldn't, when it comes to character issues, they wouldn't stay friends with people who burn character issues. Meaning that if whatever you're trying to stay out of their business about, it has something to do with their character, they wouldn't stay their friends. But if it didn't have anything to do with that, then they would just kind of mind their business.
So, so are you asking me a question?
I did just leave that, didn't it?
Yeah. I didn't know what to do.
I didn't know what to do either. Listen, so no, okay. If what these people are saying, there's a poll that I took some things out of, and they talked about would they mind their business in certain issues. And so this one person said, as long as it doesn't have anything to do with their character, I would mind my own business. So if it was a character issue, would that be the only reason why you would mind your own business? Or not mind your own business?
Give me an example.
So we talked about the whole cheating. You know, if that's a character issue.
They give me enough.
The thing with raising your kids may not necessarily be a character issue.
Okay, so maybe you have a parent that is cussing their child out. Maybe that's their way of disciplining their child, right? This is the type of character issue you're talking about, right?
Right.
Okay, so family, let's pose this question to the family. If you first of all, you have to assume you have to be the type of person, I guess, that would have a problem with somebody cussing their child out, right? So if you are the type of person that thinks it's wrong to cuss a child out, to cuss your child out, and you have a friend that routinely you MF and so you blah blah blah, right? That cusses their child out. Would you mind your business? Because hey, we ain't a village no more, or in trying to be that village component that you think is missing from their child rearing. Do you mind your business or do you intervene?
If somebody is cussing their child out, I might say something under my breath or loud enough for them to hear it, but I wouldn't directly go to them about it. I wouldn't. Because again, people will hurt you about their kids. Now, if it's my family member and that is happening, I wouldn't do it in front of the child, but I would do it in front. I would pull my family member to the side and say, listen, don't talk to that kid like that, because you don't want to make the pot hotter by saying something in front of the kid to now give the child, you know what I'm saying, something to stir.
Yeah.
If you will.
Well, Marie Jones says she would say something. Let's see. Chantrice says it really bothers me to hear a parent curse their child out. A family or a friend I will pull aside.
Yeah.
Well, what about okay, so that specification was made. Let me read Danielle first before I do this. I hate when parents call their children bees and little nigga. I intervene. If this is someone close to me. The disrespect you're teaching the child, they may grow up and believe this language is okay. All right. So what if you're in public, right? And some random stranger is cussing their child out. I mean, in a way that, you've seen grown folks get cussed out. And this child, I don't know, let's say this child is 3 years old. Do you say anything?
I wouldn't say anything directly to them again, because you don't know the situation. You don't know if that person is crazy. Apparently they're crazy if they're cussing out a 3-year-old that way. And it could make things worse for that child. But I probably would call the police. And this is the reason, because if they're doing that in public, oh my goodness, what is happening to that kid in private?
Yeah.
Because if this is a thing, if you, and maybe I've just watched too many movies, okay, or even heard some things too much, but if you intervene to a crazy person like that, and that now they get home, see, you made me somebody say something to me about this, now I'm gonna whip your butt more. So you don't want to heighten that situation for the benefit of the child. But I would call the police.
Yeah, that might be a good idea there, to call the cops. Because if you're in public, if you hear a person cussing their child out, especially a young child like that, 3, 5 years old, 8 years old, that person probably is mentally ill.
Yeah.
And I think probably the best thing you could do is to call the cops. Danielle said, heck, these days I see kids cussing their parents out.
True.
I'm so confused I wouldn't be. Yeah.
Right. True.
We couldn't even.
Not at all. You better not even look. You better not. How many times when you was a kid did I had planes, trains, and automobiles running over my parents in my mind? Yeah. If you even said those types of things out loud, you would get your butt whooped. So these kids nowadays coming for their parents is crazy.
Look, you couldn't even, back then the word lie was a bad word.
Yes.
If I told my brother you a lie,
Ooh.
man, and now boy, lies. So you pray for somebody to say the word lie these days with the way these.
Right.
Chantry said, I wouldn't stop them, but I would definitely say something out loud and hope they would come at me.
Yeah.
All right. She lived under the wish factor. The wish.
Wish you would.
James said, I seen a 10-year-old girl pretending to roll a blunt while her parents were sitting in a child. As a person who works with all types of kids, they do what they see. The 10-year-old pretending to roll a blunt. All right. Yarley says, I say they will be on the Maury Jr. show 15 years from now talking about my child kicks my ass. Danielle said, my kids cuss like sailors because they grew up in the home where their mother modeled that behavior. However, my kids don't cuss in front of me, not around other adults. I guess I did a little bit right.
Yeah, she's slowing down on her cussing too.
Yeah.
Always have. Yeah, that's crazy. So I mean, ultimately, so then would you say generally that is, family and to you, brother, that it is better to mind your business or be a part of the village?
Man, if you're asking me directly, it's a case-by-case basis, and the closer I am to a person, the more likely I am to say something. Yeah. If we close enough for me to consider you a friend or that I call you brother, then I'm gonna say something. But if it's random strangers, man, mental illness is real and it's pervasive, very widespread, and you just don't know who you talking to these days. And I think you got to be really cautious with who you say, who you confront, who you approach, who you think it's okay to get bucked with, because it can go bad real quick. And even though I feel confident that I'm going to come out on the better side of just about any confrontation that I enter, I do feel really good about my ability, however it go, physical, whatever. But I just don't want them problems.
Yeah.
So it's not cowardice. I don't consider it cowardice that is coming from when I say I'm cautious. I consider it, for the most part, good judgment because of how bad things go.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I agree. I agree. It's difficult for us to be able to step into, as Danielle says, depends on the situation. The villages just aren't the same. Step into the village proposal of things because we don't have a village any longer. We're too busy fighting each other, which then goes into my last thing about how then do we combat the situation where people need help, but they're either oblivious that the help is there or they won't ask. So when do we step in and say, hey, you should probably do something about that?
Let me say this. I think we still do have a village. I think it's just comprised of a bunch of small villages, which is, your immediate circle and the immediate friend circle that you have around you. So whereas it used to be the neighborhood, like I grew up in the projects in Chicago, Leclerc Courts, 4800 West 44th Street, right down the street from Midway Airport in Chicago. Yeah. Back then, all of the adults in my childhood, when I was 10 years old, all of the adults then went to grade school, middle school, and high school with my mother.
Okay.
So everybody knew everybody in that neighborhood.
Right.
It ain't like that now. Yeah. I don't know these people that live next door to me, and they don't know me.
Right.
So, but what we do have is small units now where my brother and his children, my daughters and my son and their children, my grandchildren, so my nieces and nephews. And then there are some friends that I have that are close and I can talk to them, but as far as a neighborhood goes, that part is pretty much gone for, in many regards. But I think we still can do something in the small circles that we do exist in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree.
yeah.
I totally agree with that. So what do we do when we have a situation? And let's end it on this, because this is one of the things that is happening in our community, that we know that there's some people who are downright going against us as a community. And what do? Do we step back and say nothing, or do we censor them? And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, because we talk about birds of a feather, right? You know, we know who the KS, y'all. We don't say his name on our show, but KS has a slew, now 1 million people following him, who is now spewing bad things in our communities, making them bad, making them worse, making women feel unsafe, where abusive situations can come about because women, these men who feel like they were silenced for so long, are now speaking up and are now doing things like abusing the women verbally, physically, and all these types of things, because they now feel like they have a voice. Now people have put together a petition to censor them. Do we censor? Do we step in as a village and censor?
It's hard to step in as a village when probably half the village doesn't agree with the censoring of,
Yeah.
of a person of that person that you're naming, right? So I think we're in a real tough spot right now, because again, our culture is so fragmented, and we don't have a one sound ideology that the overwhelming majority of us subscribe to. So we're taking bits and pieces from this culture and pieces from that culture, so some of us like the way the Italians do it, some of us like the way the Mexicans do it, some of us like the way the Buddhists might do it, and so on and so on. So we got all these different fragments that we're trying to bring together to make into a culture, and it's just real hard, and the lines are being blurred because we're bringing, so like what KS speaks to is the high value man, for instance, right? And he's talking to a specific group of men and the women that want them, right? Here's the problem. Even though he's only talking to about 5 to 8% of our men, the bottom 90%, many of them want to do what it is that he's talking about, even though they may not necessarily qualify, and I use that term loosely, right? Qualify for the right.
Right, because they're not a part of the birds.
Qualifying for the right to financially bully their woman.
Right.
A lot of guys, look, if you look back in the day where a lot of grandma and granddaddy might have stayed together for 50 years, and some of those relationships were really good, but some of those relationships were horrible. Grandma just didn't have any options.
Yeah.
Grandma couldn't leave, even though she wanted to. So grandma might have been getting her butt kicked. Grandma might have also been getting cheated on. Grandma might not have even been given money to go and buy the sanitary napkins that she might have needed to take care of herself, right? So there were some horrible situations, but grandma had to stay because she didn't have any options, or many options. Nowadays, it ain't like that. Right. And so the problem that many men are having, not just black men, but many men, women are able to now fend for themselves in many regards. And so now you got to be able to actually relate to a woman, because you don't have the means to bully her anymore. And I think that's a good thing. I don't think it should have never been to the point where you were able to bully. You should have always had to relate. And the problem is that this culture has never taught men. There's never been any real emphasis on men being able to healthily relate to a woman. So a lot of us, we don't have those tools. And we're getting frustrated. Many of us don't know how to choose a hoe from a housewife. We can't determine the two, right? We think just because she's cute, she got a fat butt, and she good in bed, and she tell us that she loves us, that's wifey.
Right.
It ain't so, right? So a lot of us are having trouble discerning between who's wife material and who's not. And it's frustrating. And a lot of brothers are they're justified in their frustrations. I get it. But again, it's not just the problem with the woman. You have good women out here just like you got bad ones. Right. The problem is our inability to discern. And the larger problem is that we're not a community that's cultivating and producing wives and husbands.
Right.
In numbers. People are just figuring it out as they go.
Right. I agree with that. And I don't think that until people decide that, hey, this is just dysfunctional as an overall, that there's going to be any decision making of, well, let's come together. Because I don't think that people think that there's anything wrong with them. I think that most people think that they're okay. And that's the problem. You say what?
Do crazy people think that they're crazy? Is that what you're saying?
No, they don't. And that's like Chantrice just said. We're in a messed up day and time. We are, because most people don't think they have a problem. Just like 85% of people think that they effectively communicate. If that were true, we wouldn't have 54% of divorce. So 54% of those people are lying. So we don't have that. And so the problem that I really think that we're having with being the birds of a feather, I think that it could be a good thing if you're a bird of a feather and you're elevating. But I think that if you're a bird and you just being a bird, you got a problem. Yeah. And so you need to get some help, which is why we're here and why we do these shows every Sunday for free. And, I say that not to, what's the point that I wanted to make? Not to, well, yeah, I do. I want to make sure that people understand the value of what we do. So if people not understand the value of what we do, every Sunday, then it's just kind of entertainment. And I don't want people to just think that we're just entertaining. We want to come and give information. We want to come and give, be a part of the village that makes things better, to be able to get us into a better place than what we're doing. So it's like, in order to do that, we have to do these things. We have to come on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. Except for next Sunday, we're gonna be Saturday. Okay, we're working on the time, so don't hold us to the time right now. But I'm going white water rafting. I'm going to have a vacation, unless y'all want to see me on somebody's news.
Hey, take your phone with you on that raft and let's go live while you're on the water.
No, because I'm gonna be scared.
I want to see you out there like this, live from his and her perspective. You need to be there.
No, I'm going to do some self-care. Yeah. I'm going to do self-care. And I am going somewhere to have some fun. So, but I the whole point is, I really want everybody to know that we are our brothers and sisters keepers. And that's why we do what we do. We do this to make sure. Thank you so much, Danielle. That's why we do this, because we want people to know that there are options for help, that you don't have to be by yourself. You don't have to worry about hush, hush. You don't have to say this. You can come to Coach Vaun. You can come to Coach Michelamonè. You can come to both of us, because we do coach together. But all I'm saying is, come to somebody, and don't just think that, you are an island unto yourself. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chantrice. We really appreciate you all. So share that all that I say all that to say is, make sure that you all are, first of all, following our pages, Vaun the Love Alchemist, on all social media platforms. Make sure that you are following Coach Michelamonè on all social media platforms, ATR, all things relevant. They don't just have us as a wonderful show every Sunday, but they have shows all week long. ATR does, on different things, finances, relationships. We're the relationship people, but they have other things that are very informative that you really want to tap into. So make sure that you're following all those pages. Go over to our YouTube pages and subscribe. Hit the red bell so that you can make sure that you're getting all of the videos that we upload. because there are going to be some other things that we want to do, as well as share. Don't just keep us to yourselves. We know that y'all love us so much that you just want to keep us all private to yourselves, but we don't want to just be your secret. We want y'all to share and tell people about us. Even if you don't like us, still share, because somebody else that you don't that you're sharing with might like us. So we want the push no matter how. If you don't like us, share. If you like us, share. Definitely if you like us. So share with at least 5 people this week. Let them know the things that we're doing over here at the His and Her Perspective show, so that we can get as many people as we can to understand and get some of these nuggets that we drop every single week. Every single week we out here.
Yep.
So Kimberly Snoddy says she wants us to discuss the transgender issues as it relates to sports.
Heavy.
That
Very controversial topic.
That is very controversial.
That's something
that is something to think about. We got to figure out how it's okay. Let me write it down.
That topic, that title alone, it could probably be a subtopic, because that title alone will probably get us flagged.
Yeah.
So maybe we could slide it in underneath as a subtopic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't
because
mind.
we try not to get censored.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So we got, if we can build up our platform more on YouTube, we can rely less upon Facebook.
Yeah.
So please share our YouTube page.
Yep. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. The YouTube page, and put that in the chat. I always had trouble doing this because I'm just not very savvy at this, but I'm about to try it. I think I got it. I think I got it. Hold on, family. Let me see. Paste. All right.
Oh, there go one.
Uh-huh.
Desi says I want y'all to discuss the impact of couples swinging.
Ooh. Ouch. Now, I like discussing stuff like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm not even gonna tell you what I think about that one. Let's just
have a show.
Let's have a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kimberly, share our YouTube. Help us build up that YouTube so we can have talks like that freely.
There's the YouTube right there in the chat. I think, did it come up? See if it come up.
Yep.
All right, cool.
But it's only coming up. Hold on, because it's only coming up on 2 of the pages.
No. There it is.
Okay, great. There you go.
So y'all do us a favor, y'all. Go to our YouTube page, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share from the YouTube page to Facebook and to your friends. Do us that favor. We need to get this word out, because I think that we got a real good show. I think our show, is damn near therapeutic.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're rap. I think we offer some sound stuff, man, some solid stuff every week that could really improve the lives of the people. I know it improves lives. I know that it helps some people. And I think some people actually use us, like maybe some people can't afford counseling. And I think some people use us as their counseling, just coming to our show every week. And I appreciate that too.
Yeah. So James wants us to talk about, should family members talk about your marriage? We'll put that on the list too. If you all, again, this is what we want you all to do. Tell us what you want to hear so that we can talk about those things you want us to talk about. We want to make sure that we stay in the guidelines and we don't get blocked. But if we can, because we drop nuggets about certain things when we kind of veer off of our topic sometimes. We'll veer, drop some nuggets, and then get back on track. I'm not sure if y'all pay attention to that, but we do it often, right?
Yeah.
You guys, go ahead.
You guys have discussed a lot of real issues in the community. How do we begin to build our villages and grow as a people? I'll tell you, one person at a time, one day at a time, starting yourself, right? Sometimes we have to be the example that we want to see. And I think you're going to always have the negativity. And unfortunately, in our community, the negativity is what gets the biggest lights.
Yep.
Negativity gets center stage. It gets sensationalized. It gets the promotion.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the majority of us are riddled with the negativity. I think that's just what gets seen.
Yeah.
Here's an example of what I mean. I talk to all kinds of men from all walks of life, all over the world, right? Single brothers, married brothers, all across the board. The ones that are on, let me say it this way, the ones that have who get the highest level of cooperation from their woman, right? You can call that submission if you want to, submissive wives, you call it high level cooperation, call it whatever you want. The guys that have the best relationships with their women are not the ones on Facebook talking about how uncooperative women are, how unsubmissive women are, how raggedy women are these days, how they ain't like what their grandma used to be. And it's a bunch of us out here. We are not out here talking bad about women. But the guys who have not yet gotten that type of high level cooperation or that submissiveness, if that's what you're looking for from your woman, the guys with the loudest voices, the biggest bullhorn, and the largest platform and the most followers are the ones who have not yet learned what it takes to do that. And they have all of these theories, all these theoretical concepts, all these ideas about what women need to do and what it takes and what kind of man you need to be, da, 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 da. They got all of this stuff with no proof of concept.
Yep. None.
Meanwhile, the ones of us with proof of concept, ain't nobody trying to hear y'all what y'all saying, man. You know, y'all been out the game too long, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, you know, to your question, Stephanie, be the example, do your best to shine, and hopefully your light will impact others so that they're attracted to it rather than repelled by it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that you say about the whole men thing. It's women doing the same thing. You know, you got whole movements of women trying to combat what the men are doing. So rather than somebody saying, whoa, what is this? Why are we fighting each other? Vaun says it all the time. We're fighting the problem. I mean, we're fighting each other versus fighting the problem. And we keep doing that instead of saying, you know what, let me become who I want to be. And then, like Vaun says, attract that. You know, I did a video on TikTok and it went viral, like 15,000 people chimed in. Many men on there, oh, y'all don't want this. I mean, going in because they are hurt. And rather than me say things negative and go, well, that's your problem, da da da, I'm sorry you went through that. And they're like stunned, like, huh? You sorry? You didn't do nothing. I know. It's okay. I'm still sorry you went through that. Yeah. So we have to answer your question, Stephanie. We have to get to the place where we step outside, we deviate from the norm of what we're seeing on reality TV, social media, and things of that sort. Deviate from the norm. Be what you want to see. And eventually it's going to be difficult because I got whooped day before yesterday on social media with these dudes coming for me. But I was like, I'm going to still be nice. 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 Doesn't matter. I'm not going to let anybody take who I am authentically and change it. And that's exactly what we're doing when we become what people expect us to become. When we become the women, and I'll speak for the women because that's what my niche is. When we become the women that these men are expecting us to be. Oh, you this and you that. Only thing you want is the money. Oh, well, then I might as well go and get the money. I might as well just go. No, when we become that, we've changed who we are authentically to be something that we think people want to see. When no, all you're doing is falling into that and allowing them to be your puppeteer.
Look, many of us are the byproduct of several generations of dysfunction.
Yep.
You can't do anything about that, right? Many of us are the byproduct of several generations of dysfunctional behavior in our family. We can't do anything about that, but we can make sure that it stops with us.
Yep.
We can make sure that we don't pay that dysfunction forward. Watch this.
To that.
Watch this. I just talked about, and I hope this don't step on any toes, yours, Coach Michelle, but I want to, it's something that I'm excited about, and I want to share this. I was just talking about how you have all these men out here with these huge platforms, and they just berating women and talking bad about women, talking about how black women ain't this, ain't that, can't do this, can't do that, whatever, etc. All of these guys with all these ideas, all these roadmaps, but they don't have proof of concept, right? I just talked about that. I just got together 3 brothers, all with more than 20 years marital experience, all with all of their children with the same women, all with women who are incredibly cooperative, right? And we're coming together on a platform, and we're going to begin speaking to the brothers.
That's what's up. That's what we need.
Yeah, I think it's important because what we need is a roadmap for what it's supposed to look like in real time. Like,
yes,
it's easy for you to tell me how to get to Walmart, you know, if you've been to Walmart. But if you ain't never been to Walmart, you just giving me a whole bunch of directions. You throwing stuff against the wall and trying to see what's gonna stick. But I can't even really trust your directions because you're not living in that.
Right.
You're talking theories.
Right.
And so me and these brothers, we got together, and I think probably within the next couple of weeks, we're gonna come together. And I don't know how often we're gonna do it, but it just depends on the schedules and everything, because we all got very busy. We got a lot going on, but we're excited about it.
Yeah, we need that.
We need it, man. It's needed because our men right now, you know, there are a lot of men who are on the fence. They don't know who's right and who's wrong. But I think that there's a lot of glasses of dirty water out there, right? Yep. And I don't have to necessarily talk about how dirty your water is. I just want to sit my clean glass of water right next to yours.
Yeah.
And let you taste and see which one nourishes you better.
Right. That's it. Keep your hands clean. That's all we need. We absolutely, that would never step on my toe. I don't know. We'll talk about that when we got the show. But I don't, that would never step on my toe. We need that.
Because this is our show. This is our platform. And I didn't talk to you about that beforehand. So, you know.
But I can't, let me tell you something. I have coached hundreds of men. Okay. Yeah. Many men don't want nobody to know that they're being coached by me because it make them look like simps. Okay. However, let me tell you something. I can coach, and I'm even woman enough and more professional enough and only care about my clients' well-being enough to say, you know what? I did this with a couple that Vaun and I are both coaching now. Hey, you know what? I've been with them for 6 months. They're doing good, but there's some man things I can't teach him. There's some things about being a man that he missed because he didn't have his father. He needs a male perspective. This is why, you know, the whole vision of this entire show 2 years ago came from before, you know, we need that. And if we think it's kind of like the child, and not saying that y'all children, the mother and the father, you need that. You need both. Because there are some pieces to the situation that you're going to need both from. So you can't negate. So I would never, we need that.
Well, I felt comfortable saying it, but I did want to at least put that disclaimer out there because, you know, it's what we do. Now, y'all know after we get off the show, she's going to be like, I can't believe you. I can't believe you talking about
really, Vaun. You know I'm the one who told you we need this. How many times have I inboxed you? It's like, where the men at?
I'm just playing. We cool.
You don't leave. I know he's playing, but for y'all who don't know, my brother / nephew, y'all know he playing.
Yeah. I'm just playing. She cool, family.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stephanie. We appreciate you as well for sharing. Vaun, this is absolutely wonderful. We would get the opportunity to see people who look like us, who have accomplished what many of us strive to accomplish. Absolutely. You are right, Coach Michelamonè. Men need men and women need women. We certainly can learn from the other gender, though. We can. But there are some things like no man, KS, should not be trying to tell some woman how much BMI she need. It ain't your business. Because if you all up in a woman's being up all in a woman's business like he is, you gotta question that. You got other men that's in that life talking about he ain't right.
Well,
so listen, on that note, we've been on here an hour and 41 minutes. We thank y'all so very much for staying with us. Make sure that you like, commenting, and sharing everything that we're doing. We will let you all know by Wednesday, Thursday, latest, what time we're going to be going this coming weekend. But lead us on out of here.
An hour and 41 minutes. Look, y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And for that, we are eternally thankful. We love y'all. Peace.
Bye.